Well met, and welcome back, everyone, to The Angry Chicken, the podcast about Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft. I am Garrett Weinzerl, and I am joined by Willie Dills Gregory and Jocelyn Moffat. Welcome back, guys.
Heyo. What's up, everybody?
Hello, hello.
We were like 9 minutes late tonight. You know, the chat room is having picnics. I don't know what's going on anymore, guys.
I was right on time, but you know, I'm sure that I'll catch hell for this one. It was probably my fault. I told somebody.
It's always Dills' fault.
Yeah, if you go to the TacFacts Twitter, every one of the Dills facts is like slightly like putting me down in just a subtle way. I don't know if you've noticed that. There's like Jocelyn's amazing. TacFact. Dills is super late. Always use the middle urinal. Dills never. Like,
What's
whatever.
wrong about using the middle urinal?
It's pretty funny.
I love the middle urinal.
Okay, yeah, I saw that one and I was like, "What? How is this a thing? What's wrong with that? I don't understand."
know. Nothing's wrong with it. It's just funny. I'll be the heel on the show.
I love middle urinal, man. That way, if like I miss, I've got one on the right and left. I'm fine. I'm covered.
Exactly.
You miss that much that often?
Here's the other thing too. If I take the middle one, I'm more likely to make a bathroom buddy. Like when the next person comes in.
Is that a thing? Bathroom buddies?
If I go all the way to the left, then the next time someone comes in, they always leave a space. This is a thing in dude bathrooms. You don't probably know about, Jocelyn.
I've got a fun story.
Leave a space.
I don't know about that.
I have a real fun, super quick story that has nothing to do with Hearthstone, but it is, however, guys, at least in Florida for the next 2 hours. It is still May the 4th, which I'm annoyed by Star Wars Day in general, but why not take this... give a reason for a Star Wars story today, even though we make Star Wars jokes and references every single episode. Dills, you were just at a con. You went to Kraken Con. Got your nerd on. My very first time ever attending a nerd convention. It was MegaCon in Orlando, Florida, where I live. And I was freshman in college. I went up. Oh my God, look at all the crap around everyone. A couple sodas deep, have to use the restroom. Go to the restroom, doing my thing, washing my hands. The stall door opens up, folks, and Darth Vader walks out. Full on, screen accurate, lights blinking, respirator going. Darth Vader steps out of the normal size stall, not even like the wheelchair accessible stall. Some dude went in there and got dressed. He put on his Darth Vader suit in the damn stall. It was amazing.
I would have liked it if he came out and then a bunch of stormtroopers came out behind him and just started blasting people with blasters.
Yeah,
that would have been amazing.
Yes, it also would have been tragic because I'd be dead.
Yeah, that would have been the end of Garrett. You would have been the weird guy with gray hair who's like somehow some sort of a main character at the beginning of A New Hope, and then he's dead pretty soon. That guy. I always thought about that when I was a kid. I was like, we're supposed to know this guy's story. Nope, he's dead.
You talking about Uncle Owen?
No. At the very beginning of the whole movie, when Leia's in the spaceship and everything, and Darth Vader comes in and they start killing all the people, the
guy is choking out
rebels.
And he's like, this is a diplomatic
There's one guy
ship.
that gets concentrated on just for a little bit,
Okay.
And he's like the older guy with gray hair, and then you're like, oh, this is some sort of important guy. And he's just dead within like a few minutes. Everybody else is whatever. They follow this guy for a second, and then it's like, nope, he's gone. And I always thought as a little kid, I was like, he's supposed to be I guess not.
Nope, never mind. That's that. Oh man, that's great. I saw Star Wars at such a young age that I don't remember a time where I didn't know the twist in Empire. Like, it was just always there.
No, me too. I can't remember what my actual reaction must have been, but it must have been crazy.
Yeah,
I finally found out.
I was probably so young I actually crapped my pants. I bet that happened. That's very possible. That's a true story.
He's his father.
Yep.
No.
See, I knew all of that before going in to see Star Wars, so it was
terrible.
just like, I knew all the things from all the internet memes and everything else. So.
That's sad to me. Because I think that's just such a pure moment and no one gets to experience that anymore. Oh well.
Yep. That's the one thing I wish I could just wipe my brain of that once and just sit down and watch it again with like a fresh eyes.
You probably can. There's a lot of technology out there these days, Garrett.
I'm not sure it's that simple. I'm not sure it's just
we can find a lobotomy company.
I will follow.
Say Endless Sunshine. Come on, all you have to do is erase Star Wars.
Okay. See, I was gonna say I'm gonna follow Arnold Schwarzenegger to Recall and have them do that, and I just won't go to Mars with the 3 boob lady.
Yeah, you'll just go to like some sort of a marathon showing of the original Star Wars films instead.
Guys, this is my favorite beginning of an episode ever. I just want you to know that.
Okay. You said you were annoyed at the May the 4th be with you stuff. Yeah. I'll say this. I don't really participate, but I don't get annoyed by it. I just go like, yeah, it's still fun and a novelty to some people. That's fine.
I always see
anything that keeps Star Wars in the general like nerd culture, consciousness, I'm okay with, because maybe somebody out there goes, May the 4th, what does that mean? And somebody goes, oh, it's the May the 4th be with you. And they go, oh, what is that? And maybe that happens. I don't know.
Okay,
but I'm not going to go tweet about it. Really.
I was going to say, really, really quickly, I got an email this morning from my mom, and she is like not on Facebook, not on Twitter, not on the internet at all.
But she is on BattleNet, apparently.
What?
But she is on BattleNet, apparently.
Yeah, she is on BattleNet, yeah. And it just said, May the 4th be with you. Ha 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 ha. As if she was the first person in the world to ever think of it.
I thought it was hilarious.
She thought she was hilarious. I just wrote back, I'm like, you're adorable.
Oh, that makes me so happy. There's somebody out there, make a Jocelyn's mom's Twitter account, because every time Jocelyn tells me a story about her mom, my heart grows 2 sizes. That's amazing. So before we get going, we actually are here to talk about Hearthstone, folks, believe it or not.
That will happen.
Yeah, it will. There will be Hearthstone.
Hey, listen, there's a Star Wars reference in Hearthstone. Well, it's in WoW first, but Toshly is in Hearthstone. Come on.
Yeah, I'm playing it in my my Savit's freaking Flamewaker Mage right now.
It's a great card. That particular deck especially.
It's amazing. Amazing. Do we have a name for that? I know some folks are like calling it like is it Tempo Mage?
It's a Tempo Mage. It's a specific version of Tempo Mage. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
And it's good.
Very cool. Anyways, folks, if you're Florida natives, just want to let you know the next Florida Fireside is going down. We finally have a date locked in, whatever you want to call it. Locked in. It's happening in Orlando again. Same venue. Going to be at Canvas in the Exchange in downtown Orlando. And it's going to be on June 20th. Quickly checking. Yes, June 20th. Saturday, June 20th. We don't have times yet. It's very early planning phases, but you can go to meetup.com/Florida Fireside. We're going to be adding more information as we figure it all out. We're not sure what time we're starting and everything, but it's there. You know where it's going to be, what day it's going to be, and you can RSVP right there at meetup.com. So
sweet.
Check it out, Florida denizens.
There will be actually at some point a big Fireside gathering here in San Francisco too. That we're in the super early phase. So I'm not even going to say anything other than
I was about to say too late.
Get excited. We're going to do something cool.
You're hyping the hype.
I'm hyping the hype. I'm pulling a Johnson announcement of a future announcement.
Oh man, we still get like tweets from folks whenever we say pulling a Johnson from people who don't listen to other shows.
Non-Frog Panthers, yes.
Yeah, non-Frog. They're like, why are they talking about pulling? That's really offensive. It's like, it's an inside joke, guys. It's fine.
Don't worry.
Literally a guy named Johnson. Yeah, everyone calm down. So, Dills, you want to talk about something here?
I just want to bring up a quick thing here. We don't have to spend much time on it, but I was just playing a retooled version of my Milkshake deck because Nefarian came out as a card. For people who don't know Nefarian, it's a 9-mana 8/8 dragon that puts 2 spells from the opposing class into your hand. Perfect for a Milkshake deck. I was like, when that card came, I was like, that fits directly into what the Milkshake deck is all about, which is beating you with your own deck, right?
Would you say Nefarian is King Milkshake?
Sure. King of the Milkshake? Why not? Actually, no. Sylvanas would be Queen of the Milkshake. So I guess, okay, King of the Milkshake. Why not?
So so Nefarian and Sylvanas, they come together and
and they take your stuff.
That's exactly. They take your stuff.
And they beat you over the head with it. Yeah. So that card to me was like, okay, now I got to retool Milkshake deck and we'll get it going again. So Milkshake deck is terrible. Everyone knows this. Anyone who I'm sure some people out there have played it on ladder because it's a fun deck, super fun deck. I played it on ladder. You're not going to win a lot with it. So most of the time if I do it, it's just for a little bit of, just a quick laugh, play it, have a good time with it. And I want to go into casual mode with it because that makes more sense, right? To play that kind of deck in casual mode. The problem is that when you go into casual mode, you still end up with meta decks. Really, net decked meta decks that you play against, and the games aren't quite as fun when you just get beaten down by some sort of aggro or zoo or something like that where it's like, yeah, this isn't really what this deck is intended to ever play against, and I'm trying to do something fun and you are not doing something fun, and so now I'm having less fun. So I just thought it would be an interesting, like, I just want to put this out there into the ether. We don't know if anybody from Blizzard listens, right? We don't know that.
No, they never tweeted us and tell us we're wrong for our thoughts on cards.
But here's the thing: I would like to see maybe a third type of play mode where you've got ranked, which is where you play and you get your stars and you do your whatever. And then an unranked version where you can still do your dailies and earn gold and things like that. Because a lot of people in my chat were like, oh, well, the reason why you play casual with these net decks is you're just trying to do your daily, or you're trying to earn gold, or whatever it might be, and you don't feel like you're good enough yet, or you need to test the deck, or whatever it might be. There's reasons to play kind of meta net decks in casual, right? I'm not saying like those people are wrong for doing it, but I would like to see a true casual mode. No gold, no quests, no incentive to play anything but weird fun decks, and just go in there just to mess around. It's purely to mess around. And to me, like, that would just be fun. Because there'd be no reason for any. Of course, you still could. Wouldn't tell people you can't go in here with your zoo deck, but there just wouldn't be this. You know, it was clear to me from what people were saying why they do it, that the reason they do it is because they're trying to earn gold or do quests, right? So they're getting incentivized to a certain extent.
While they may be playing, say, Face Hunter, it may not be something they actually know how to play. Like when I get a Hunter daily, I never play Hunter. I go to casual because I don't want to tank my rating in ranked because I suck at Hunter. It's just not my jam.
And I totally get why people do this, but I would love to see a play mode where you're gonna face really weird decks. You're gonna face Alarmo bots, and you're gonna face all the cool, crazy, fun cards. And you can go in and play all the cool, crazy, fun cards, and it's just all about the fun. And there's literally no reward to be had for anybody. So no incentive to go in there and spoil someone else's good time when they're trying to do something weird and quirky and fun. So I would just like to see that at some point in the game. Just a true casual. I think casual is right now not really titled correctly. Like there should be ranked, unranked, casual, right? So unranked, you can still do quests, still to get gold, all that kind of stuff. And then you get casual where it's just like, all right, we're just in here to I could do random deck, go, and just play. Because some people don't have a buddy that they can queue up with and do that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to do it, and they want to see how that goes and have a good time. I would love to see that. Just no reward casual, all about the fun, no rewards at all, and see how that goes. It'd be cool. Yeah. So that's it. Just want to throw that out there. Put that out into the ether. Blizzard, if you want to put that in, I'll give you that idea. On the house.
There is that mystery fourth spot for a button on the main screen.
True. We don't know what's going to go in there.
We don't.
Yeah. There's also, guys, I mean, really, nothing stopping them from adding more buttons.
That's true.
I'm pretty
or
sure.
more little tabbies when you actually go into
At the end of the day, I'm sure it just looked nice with that many slots. So, like, well, let's just put an extra one in there. We're going to use it one day.
Yeah.
Let's roll with it, guys.
So some people seem to be into this. There's other people who are saying like, oh, there's some people would still go in there and troll other people. That's fine. That's going to happen. I'm just saying it'd be less likely to run into, a face hunter, or I played essentially against just a standard mid-range shaman deck, and I actually did win. But I would have liked to have had them play weird stuff, and me play weird stuff. Just have it just be a really weird game, and all kinds of crazy stuff happens. I want to see that type of mode. So. We've talked about other kinds of modes, like a sandbox mode or something like this. I just think this would be cool. So, putting it out there. That's all.
Nice. Totally awesome, man. Have you guys seen a bunch of people have been tweeting at us this week with screenshots from their iPhones and other mobile devices where their game is glitched out and landed on a screen that says glue_tournament and has what looks like a bunch of blank deck spaces?
Yeah, I've actually seen this. This has been showing up for a while, actually. So
is it the same one?
Something going on here.
Yeah, is it the same exact screen? Because I remember there being some kind of tournament screen, but I couldn't actually Google it correctly. Like I could not parse the correct words into Google for Google to find me that old image that we saw months ago.
I feel like previously it was just like a line of code. I don't think that there was anything like graphically really tied to it. I think.
Okay.
I mean, it's been posted on the Hearthstone subreddit and stuff like that. But yeah, so people have been seeing this now for a little while. So it seems to me that there's some sort of tournament mode in the works somewhere, which is awesome. Yeah, just more modes. Just give us a ton of modes.
Yeah.
I want to log into Hearthstone and be like, what do I want to do today?
Let's get
Something
crazy,
totally different.
guys.
Yeah.
Let's get crazy.
And I want to play tournaments, but tournaments are always scheduled. Tournaments are always, happening at this time. And if I don't show up on time or I got to fit it into my schedule, it'd be awesome to just log in whenever I can. And there's a tournament I can just go and play. It'd be so sweet.
It's cool stuff. Well, let's get into this week's Hearthstone news, shall we?
Good news, everyone!
Guys, Blackrock Mountain, it's over. Everything's out. It's fully released. We've done it. We've beaten the Faran.
I can't believe it's been 5 weeks already.
Yeah,
like, it went by so quickly.
Yeah, it went by super quick. And yeah, guys, I have a confession. It took me way too many tries to beat normal Nefarian.
Oh my god, he was so hard.
He kicked my ass. It wasn't even funny.
I did beat him first try, but I didn't know anything about it, and it was weird because it kept going. It was like a 3-phase fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like it started out this way, and then like everything changed, and he went to the corner, and then you were fighting somebody else. I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" But I think I just lucked out and I drew really well. But it was for a normal fight. There was a lot going on. It was cool.
Yeah.
I still haven't stepped into any heroic modes at all. I don't know. Have you guys done any of that?
Nope.
I've been going back and trying heroic knacks while I'm at work.
While you're at work.
Huh?
While you're at work.
On my breaks, obviously.
Someone cap this and email it to Joss's boss. I've got the email right here. Let me just find it.
I just assumed she would never break the rules, so I already assumed.
Yeah, see, Dills knows it was all on break. Yeah. But it's so easy because, like, where I work, I get pulled away a lot. So even if I'm on lunch break, I don't actually get like a lunch break. So if I get pulled away, then I'm not actually like losing anything. It's just not against people, no stars, no ladder, no nothing. So I've been going back and doing the heroic stuff, and I've actually got a couple bosses down just from playing at work. So yeah, that's the only thing I've been doing though. I figured I should finish heroic knacks before I try heroic Blackrock.
I went back and did heroic knacks when Blackrock was a few weeks away because I was like, I want to have this done by the time BRM comes out. My plan though is to just play with the cards, enjoy the cards for a while, and then at some point I will make a point to do all heroic at kind of one go, one shot. Maybe on like a Saturday when I can stream all day or something. I'll just try it out. And I want to not net deck anything. But
I get way too frustrated when I'm playing heroic, so there's no way I can stream. I'd be just raging the whole time.
Well, or you could just not take it seriously and just have a good time. But all right. That's my plan at this point. So I haven't touched heroic at all. I know a lot of people have already gotten their card back, which that card back is sweet.
It's really nice, yeah.
Yeah. Somebody was playing against me today and they had it, and I was like, oh my god, that thing is awesome. So
it is quite nice.
Although rocking that Tespa card back is also pretty sweet.
I'm so jealous. Although we figured out the problem with mine, so I should have mine soon, hopefully. So thanks, Azax, for helping us out, getting us those.
I didn't get one. What the crap?
Uh-oh, Garrett Rage.
Bunch of jerks.
I sent your email to, yeah.
Garrett
There were
Rage.
places
It's
it was
okay.
sent, so keep checking. You never know.
Bunch of
You never know,
asses.
buddy. You never know.
Bunch of asses. So what do we think of Black?
But now that you have that one, aren't you so it's such an incentive to just complete your whole collection now? Because you haven't missed any seasons, right?
That's the only one I was missing, yeah.
Yeah.
So. Although now I'm missing heroic Blackrock, so that's the last one.
Yeah.
I want everyone to know how proud I am of Katie. She completely forgot to play Hearthstone at all last month. Found out there was a cupcake card back. I've never seen anyone hit 20 with the poorest cards on earth as quick as she did. And
motivation.
And
man.
all
That cupcake,
the more impressive guys. We went out this past Friday to see some NXT wrestling, of which I was.
Oh yeah, dude, that's
uninitiated.
awesome. Jerry was out there.
Yeah,
right?
with a gentleman named Mr. Justin Robert Young, and he played Katie with his run of the mill mech mage, but for some odd reason it has Stormwind Champions in it. I'm not sure why.
I told him to put that in because he doesn't have Archmage,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have Doctor Boom, and he doesn't have. So I was like, you got to put something in here, and you're probably gonna have a lot of creatures on board. So this would, and he actually worked pretty well. You got to get creative. So that was my idea to put Stormwind Champion in.
All right.
Yeah.
But I was so stoked because Katie's sitting there playing him with her like a hobo mage is what I call it, and she smoked him. It was great. I was so stoked. It's like, yeah, you take down that ladder deck.
That's cool. So are you a wrestling convert now? Do you get it?
I totally.
NXT would be like the best way.
It's exactly how I left that evening. I was just like, I get it now.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
That's like NXT is like wrestling done right. So when he told me that he was taking you, I was like, oh my God, Garrett's going to become a wrestling fan now.
Oh.
Like there's a lot going on in like all the wrestling stuff, like to be as into it as Jerry, but NXT is amazing. So that's cool that you guys got to go see it.
Yeah, it was a real good time. Back on topic, now that Blackrock Mountain's fully released, how do we feel overall about the whole thing, PvE and the its effect on the meta?
It was good. It didn't affect the meta nearly as much as Nax did.
Yeah, that's
but
a
I
true
think that
statement.
there's a couple of reasons, right? Like one is Nax came out when there's less cards in general, right? So it had a bigger percentage of new cards.
There were literally only the original cards when Nax came out.
So, things like Sludge Belcher were just suddenly staples in every deck. Lotheb, staple in every deck kind of thing. Dragons are a little underwhelming, which is kind of sad because, dragons are supposed to be amazing, right?
Yeah, and we're going to dive into
awesome.
that quite a bit in today's strategy segment, everyone.
Yeah. But I do feel like it revitalized a few decks, and it brought a couple decks back. Thorison, I think, brought a couple of decks back, and it seems to me, it just feels to me like I'm seeing right now more variety on the ladder than ever before. So if that's all it did, that's fine. That's plenty. I would consider it a success just for that.
I've got to say, like, everyone I queued into, and I mean, I'm still down at like 18, 19-ish. Actually, I think 18. But everyone I queued into had something different. Like, I didn't see a deck that I recognized at all. And I was just like, oh, 18, I need to get out of here.
Yeah, 18 to 15, that's like that's the fun times, though.
Yeah. I was just like, literally, the whole time I was streaming, I was just like, wait, what is this deck?
So do you guys, and I was I was a little worried about this, but it seems like it's kind of the case. I feel like the biggest thing that came out of Blackrock Mountain was the changes to Warrior. We have an entirely new type of Warrior other than Control Warrior that is like ladder ready in Patron Warrior because of the Wars. Obviously, I think the Warzone Commander change had more to do with it than anything else.
Yeah, the fix there had a big impact.
Well, the patron, the Grim Patron itself is really what changed it. Having the fix to the Warzone Commander, it was supposed to be this way from the get-go, but there wasn't a card like this where even if Warzone was the way like it is now, there wasn't a single card out there that would give you what this does that you couldn't have done without things like just the charge card, right? Because before people were doing OTK type warriors with with Raging Worgens and the charge card and that kind of stuff. You didn't really need the Warsong Commander. But what this does, because it keeps producing more and more creatures, it really fits in well. So yeah, it was a combination of those two things, but it's maybe one of the best decks right now. It might be like a top tier deck.
It's one of my favorite decks to play.
Yeah, and it's really tough to play against too.
Yep.
It's frustrating to play against because at any moment. It's similar to me to playing against like a druid deck where at any moment this big combo's imminent and could be happening, and you just kind of always have to maintain your own health pool and try to keep their board as clear as possible because things get buffed, things suddenly do more damage, and
if there's a Warsong Commander on board at any point, you could just be staring down an infinite conga line of drunk dwarves.
Exactly. So it's a scary deck to play against, and it is the big deck that got added to the meta. Dragon Paladin, Dragon Priest, all the dragon stuff. Everyone thought maybe that would be some big deal, but no, this was it. So with GVG we got Mech Mage. That was like the kind of big meta shift, which is kind of gone away at this point. But this was the big meta shift, was this one deck. So
yeah. Now, I mean, all that being said, we've only had 4 days with the final wing, so it may be too early to really call it. But so far, it seems to be like, yeah, Grim Patron is kind of just standing tall as the biggest thing to come out of Blackrock Mountain.
It was the deck 6 I used to get number 1 or to get first legend. So
Yeah, there's a couple of ones that have come back too, like Handlock and Zoo.
Yeah, Zoo made a big comeback, and Handlock is starting to get back in there too. Because I think Handlock benefits from a couple of cards like Chromagus is very good in Handlock, and of course Emperor Thaurissan is amazing in Handlock. So a couple of those cards that kind of came back in and helped Handlock out a little bit, and then as the season kind of ages a little bit, and you start to see less Face Hunters, because Face Hunters is a deck you're going to see a lot of early on at low ranks because people are just trying to climb out of the ranks, right, as quick as possible. But as you get a little bit higher, you can start to play some of these more slow control decks and have a lot more success. So they have more tools now. It's cool.
Have you guys been seeing a lot of Rogue? Because I don't think I've queued into a Rogue in probably like 3 weeks.
I want to say
Not many.
I think I went up against against a few oil rogues today. I want to say like
it's
3.
still oil rogue though. That's
Yeah,
pretty
no,
nice
yeah,
to
it's-
see.
Yeah, rogue hasn't really changed.
I feel like there's some way to do a dragon rogue because like the thing is with rogue you have so many control cards, and obviously with friggin' why can't I remember the name? +5 spell power dragon.
The lizard with
Malagos?
the wings.
Malagos, thank you. Malagos is already a dragon, and Malagos is really good in Rogue already if you do have like the ability to get it out and keep it on the board and then do all that damage. There's something there, and I think we'll see something out of that, but not yet. No one's really played with it enough yet. But I think we'll see something. They have enough control cards that there's a way to get it. But yeah, Mill Rogue kind of went away. I haven't seen a lot of Mill Rogue.
I haven't seen a lot of Mill
It never really stuck, to be honest. I feel like it was a quick kind of fad
Yeah.
that we all kind of lost our minds about for 5 days and was like, oh wait, no, never mind, it's not consistent at all.
I still think it's viable. It's just it needs to be refined and it needs to be perfected, and then it's going to be really good. But it's just, and it's only going to be good against certain types of decks. So I think it's a potential tournament deck.
Yeah, I was about to
don't
say
think
it's
a ladder deck.
it's like your wild card. It's the deck you try to get a surprise win with.
Yeah, and if you go against anything that's control-y and it's going to draw cards on its own, you exploit that, right? So Milrogue's very good against like Control Warrior or Handlock or any deck that's going to try to draw a lot of cards. Milrogue is going to just own that. So it's got a place. It's just not that place is not the ladder.
Yeah. The other one that I saw, like the Hobgoblin decks, now there's a Zoolock Hobgoblin deck, which is just, I came up against that a couple times today, and I was just like, wow, guys are really pushing it here.
They're fun, man.
Well, they are,
Hobgoblin is
absolutely.
great.
So now I've seen Zoolock and Paladin playing the Hobgoblin, and
Yeah.
it's cute. When it works, it's awesome.
Yeah,
But
it's cute. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. I don't think we're going to see Hobgoblin ever be a staple in competitive play.
Have either of you been playing around with Pally at all? I think I love Solemn Vigil.
I don't use it in my dragon deck.
Oh,
yeah, I haven't played it yet.
Oh, I really like it at the moment.
I don't know, for me, what I end up realizing with my Dragon Paladin deck is that I don't really want to draw cards ever. I just want to play something on curve every turn. And I'm generally playing 1 or 2 cards at the most each turn. So I never even needed to draw cards until I just lay on hands one time and then I'm good to go.
Okay.
So I just never had a place that I needed it because there's such a, like the curve literally goes all the way to 9 and I've got plenty of options when I get to late game. So I just play one really powerful card at a time and then pop a dude out if I have extra mana or something like that. So I think it's a fine card. I just think, the versions that I've started with, I don't see it in yet. I could definitely see like an aggro paladin making a lot of good use out of it and stuff like that. It's a good card. It's a good card. But
I've had a lot of scenarios in the few games I've played already where I've got to cast it for like 3, 2, 0 mana.
you need to get it to 3 at least, and that's not that hard. 1 trade where your guy dies, his guy dies. Now it's 3. So
Yep.
and then at 3, it's an arcane intellect, so it's fine.
Feels good. I'm excited about it. I'm not sure. I'm like I said, have not even come close along enough games to be able to say, in concrete, yes, this is a good card. But so far, I'm really liking it.
Yeah, my problem right now is it's just the deck has too many things that I want in there, and I couldn't find space for it. And So someone in chat is saying too many 5-drops. I wouldn't even call it a 5-drop.
You're not gonna. You don't want to pay.
Yeah,
5
you
for
don't play
this.
it on turn 5, and you don't play it for 5 mana ever. So it's not a 5-drop necessarily, but there is just too many cards, I think, to make Dragon Paladin viable or even mid-range Paladin viable. Where I can't cut anything to find space for it right now, and I'm doing okay without it with all the other stuff that I have. So
Yeah, cool, man. Well, moving on from Blackrock Mountain talk, because we're going to come right back to it for strategies. We've got the new card back, obviously, for this upcoming month's ranked play has been announced. Get your ninja on, everyone. I'm excited to see how this card is animated, as always. I'm always curious to see what the moving bits are. Which, by the way, how excited are we about the Cupcake card back? The animated portion, it just looks like it's glittery.
I love it, obviously.
It's so fabulous.
Pretty much the best thing ever. I was using the BlizzCon card back since BlizzCon, and this is the first thing that finally made me change. It's even my cover photo thing on Twitter.
Really?
I just love it.
The BlizzCon one. That's probably my least favorite card back so far.
Really?
It's so plain.
I like the BlizzCon card back because I feel like it falls in the same category as the classic card back, as the Fireside Gathering. It's one of those card backs that doesn't say oh, look at me, I got to a certain place. It's not legend. It's not a place in a season. It's just I have no idea how skilled this person is. It's all about the mind games.
You're mind gaming folks with your card back.
Exactly.
But
plus, it's wow, she's so hardcore that she either went to BlizzCon or got the virtual ticket.
I was about to say, you're mind gaming them. They think you're totally hardcore. I mean,
yep.
Although I would think you're hardcore if you attended a Fireside Gathering too. Obviously, you're a pretty big fan if you're going and seeking out like-minded Hearthstone nerds to hang out with. I'm excited for the next Fireside Gathering, guys. I can't wait. Last one was really fun. Also this week, we had a couple things happen. I guess I'm not even sure I would chalk this up under esports because it was a pretty casual event, but Asus had the Play It Cool ladder marathon in conjunction with ESL, who hosted the event. If you didn't catch it, it was this past weekend, and the streamers that participated were Forzen, Reynad, Savitz, and Kungan. They had to play on fresh Hearthstone accounts. So these were not their accounts. This was a brand spanking new, already past the tutorial Hearthstone account, and they had to play for 24 hours, and whoever achieved the highest rank won. And they had all kinds of interesting rules. Nax Ramus and Blackrock Mountain weren't off limits. You could go play those if you wanted to, but you were sacrificing ladder time to get those extra cards. Players also received packs throughout the entire event. They got 3 packs every 3 hours, and whoever was in last place every 3 hours got an additional 3 packs. And then every 2 hours, there was a viewer vote to decide which player would receive 5 extra packs, which felt very Hunger Gamey to me, and I liked.
It really did,
didn't it? I thought that was nice.
But I mean, I've got to say, because I know Forzen won a whole lot of those votes really early on. He got a whole ton of packs, and so there was one time, it was probably 3-ish in the morning my time, and I was tweeting out packs for Savitz, and he finally won a vote, and I was just yes, I feel like that was me, and I felt really good when my person actually won the packs, so
nice.
I felt like I was helping.
Nice. Of course, they could dust whatever they wanted, they could craft whatever they wanted, they could spend gold that they earned on packs or whatever. There was a phase where at the beginning each player was banned from 3 different classes of the other players choosing, so they didn't have access to every single class. So I thought this was a super unique idea for a Hearthstone event.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. And I mean, the only thing that kind of sucked was that of the classes that they had leveled, they had Mage leveled to level 20, and then all the other classes to level 10. So then any player that had Mage banned was then at a huge disadvantage because they didn't have a fully unlocked class. So that was kind of weird, where they would give one specific class leveled higher than the others, but then still allow that one to get banned, it didn't give everyone kind of a fair starting point, I guess. It's I don't understand why they weren't all 10 or all 20, I guess.
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
There's a lot of things that didn't give people a fair shake in this thing.
Well, yeah, no,
Let's be honest.
That's true. That's true. And I'm sure we're gonna get to all of that. But
I mean, the fact that there's
from
voting
looking
to
at,
get extra packs is just
there was the
okay, so
voting
you're a
to
more
packs,
popular
yeah.
streamer, you win it more. I don't know.
Well,
There's a lot of weird stuff.
Well, the thing going in is this is not a serious thing.
Yeah, there's no point. There was just
No, true.
the $5,000.
Yeah, this isn't.
That's serious amounts of money. That's kind of serious. I mean,
Well, you have to have something there to have something on the line. But as far as events are concerned, this is the most casual Hearthstone event out there. You also there's just so much randomness in the ladder in general. You might just get a lucky run. You have never,
but
you have
there's
no
okay.
idea.
So yes, super casual, but also having players play for this amount of time is extremely non-casual. So
No, I agree. Actually,
there's things about this that are definitely super casual because they're not playing against each other; they're just playing against the ladder. There's going to be a lot of variance going on because of the fact they're not playing against each other. There's going to be all these they threw in all this weird stuff. It was just kind of a thing to just do something fun, do something different, and I definitely thought that was cool. But there was no way you could look at this and go like, "Oh, definitely the best player is going to win." Like to me, I never had that sense watching any of it.
I don't think that
we're
was the
deciding
goal.
who the best ladder player is right now. Like that was like never part of the deal for me when I was watching it.
I never felt that that's what they were attempting to
No.
sell. I mean, if I had to critique it just from an entertainment aspect, a 24-hour stream is an idiotic idea. I don't have 24 hours to sit on my butt and watch this. Why not break it up over multiple days? Have them do it in 3-hour chunks, and they're only allowed to come back and use that same account. That's a lot more digestible, something folks can get on and follow and be a part of. Having it be this insane marathon session, I mean, it's just I thought that was a little absurd.
It seemed to me too like if they're gonna do something like this, why not get Sixo? Like he's the guy, right?
Yeah.
Like he should be in this event.
I
In
guess so.
any event, he should be in this event. Although I guess maybe that's unfair because
He's just
got too
a
much
ladder
experience
god.
doing this.
He's just
Yeah.
it's just 6-0 just has the 6-0 hand up. So
Yeah. But he also, the funny thing about it too is that Reynad was the guy who originally was the free to play go to legend guy. You guys remember he was the one who was doing like free to play Zoo and free to play Warrior, doing like the face Warrior and stuff.
I thought
And-
for me, I've always associated that with Trump.
Well,
that-
but Reynad did that before Trump ever did it. Like,
Oh, okay.
like he was doing that before.
Did he actually did, or was this one of these things
he
where
did. He
Reynad
actually did.
claimed
This is
he
not
was
a
doing
made-up
it
thing.
before everyone else was doing
He
it?
started out, he
Okay.
was doing this free to play get to legend with a brand new account it was the face Warrior, right? And that was like he was one of the first guys to do that. Trump took it to another level by doing it with a bunch of different classes.
Yeah, and that mage deck that he ended up
Yeah.
achieving legend with was super popular for a very long time with the free to play crowd.
Yeah. But it's just I think what this does is this really separates people who play all the time to people who manage teams. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's because he's a bad player. I just think he's just not playing as much Hearthstone as these other guys anymore because he struggled. He struggled in this tournament, but
Yeah, no.
tournament. I don't even know if you can call
Yeah,
it that.
Event.
event.
Event is the better.
Just one really quick clarification because I misspoke earlier. It wasn't the mage was level 20. It's that the mage had 20 out of 20 basic cards unlocked, and the other classes only had 10 because you have to play mage in tutorial or something. So all the basic mage cards were available, but the other classes only had 10 of their 20 basic
So you
cards.
had to earn the.
You had to earn the rest of the
Yeah.
basic cards in all the other classes.
Play
So
the other classes.
yeah. So having mage banned was a bit of a disadvantage.
It is a very good point. And then because we can't have nice things, there is, of course, a controversy around this incredibly silly event. If you weren't keeping track, Forzen quit playing 3 hours early in the 24-hour stream because he had achieved rank 4 with 3 stars. He had originally been told by an admin that stars counted. So he stopped playing because why would you risk losing stars if you were significantly ahead of everyone else? And you know that once you pass 5, no more win streaks. So then with less than 40 minutes left in the tournament, Forzen was informed that stars didn't count, so he started to play again. Obviously started losing some stars. A few minutes later, a final official update came in that stars did in fact count. So the first thing that Forsen had been told was actually correct. Then he was told incorrect information. Then he was told correct information again. But the damage had already been done. He had already tanked his rating. So he could have just kept playing Tetris and won the whole damn thing. But that didn't happen. He ended up tying with Savitz and ended up playing a best of one tiebreaker against him. The best of one being agreed upon by the players because they were both clearly tired as hell and didn't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And he lost. So Savitz ended up winning, where if Forsen had the correct information from the get-go, he would have won with no dispute. So way to go, guys. Way to mismanage what should have been a really fun and unique event.
It sucks because then, of course, Hearthstone, like subreddit and Hearthstone viewers and all that people, it created kind of a... there was a lot of shots fired. You know, people were pissed, and then of course there's people who are Forsen boys, and then people who like Savitz, and then everyone's just like, and it just didn't have to happen that way. And you know, Forsen took it well, but Forsen also apparently makes like $18,000 a month, so he doesn't really give that much of a crap. But
I mean,
you know, it is frustrating. You don't want to see this kind of stuff when there's this much money on the line because, you know, we're covering Hearthstone as if it matters, right? And then it's like, oh, by the way, we don't know the rules. We'll make them up in the last 40 minutes.
And I mean, like,
sucks.
We can talk about how confusing it is because, I mean, the write-up that you guys did is great, but then chat room saying, well, no, the final wording was that they didn't count. And so this is what I mean. Like, it's gone back and forth and back and forth. Did they, didn't they? In the end, it didn't matter because they both ended up, Savitz ended up with rank 4 1-star, and Forsen had lost 2 games, so he ended up down at 4-1. So in the end, it didn't matter because they were exactly the same anyway.
No, but it did matter because he would have been at 3 stars.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, even that, like, we still don't 100% know what the final ruling was because in the end it didn't matter because they ended up at the same rank after the 24 hours. So, like, this whole thing's just so freaking confusing.
Yeah, I just ended this whole thing just kind of annoyed because I'd like to make it through one event without somebody...
Without drama.
Yeah, like this is seriously the silliest, and I don't mean that in a bad way. This should have been the most fun and carefree Hearthstone event we've seen since a pro scene emerged around the game. Mm-hmm.
Do we know, did they let the admin sleep? Were the admins up for 24 hours too? Is that why they were all messed up?
I don't know.
So
everybody
apparently
casters...
what I heard too is that this wasn't even mentioned in the official rules. So Forsen said he didn't read the official rules, which... Okay, like, you could put that on him. He didn't read the official rules. But apparently, even if he had, it wouldn't have said that stars mattered or didn't matter. Like, that just wasn't even in there. And that should be explicit.
Yeah,
so
stars
that an admin can read it. Yeah.
It said...
just said rank.
Players had to be the same, or like, yeah, if players were the same rank, then they would do a tiebreaker. But it didn't explicitly say rank or rank plus stars. And there's people on both sides of the debate. If I had to guess, I would say that the organizers never really thought that it would come up because they probably expected the top player or two to hit legend, in which case, like, rank 3 legend and rank 4 legend, 2 totally different ranks. So, you know, it's very, very easy to tell when you're up in legend exactly what rank you are. I think all 4 players still being down where stars actually were a thing kind of is what caused a little bit of the confusion.
But even if they did get the legend, like, that still wouldn't have explained it because legend is the rank and you're rank 3 legend. So, like, it needed to just be explicit. And
needed to, more clarification.
And then the admins needed to be consistent with what their answer was because even if a player wasn't 100% clear, if they ask the admins, they should get an answer that doesn't change. And the answer changed, and that's the problem. And Forsen should have won by not playing anymore, which is totally within his right as a strategy. So he should have just won by not playing anymore if stars mattered, right?
Yeah.
Because Savitz never got to 3 stars. He only got to 1 star, right? And a star should matter, in my opinion. If I was putting the tournament together,
absolutely.
I would have said the stars matter because there's a big variance between 1 and 5 stars at any rank, right? Especially when you get to the top 5 because the win streaks go away. A win is a star, loss is minus a star. Like, that's just... How are you going to... You need to have... some sort of way to say there's tiebreakers or things like that and these things so that you don't end up with a situation like this. They didn't come up with it. They didn't think of it. They thought of the $5,000. They didn't think of what the rules were. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, folks, anytime money is involved, especially of anything
especially
of
when
note.
There's nothing for second place. Like, it was literally like $5,000 and 0.
Yeah, when money is involved, people are going to get mad when you screw up. People are going to get mad when you screw up no matter what, but when there's $5,000 on the line, people are going to take note. So get it together.
And the thing is forcing when he hears no like stars don't matter and he's at 3 stars. Obviously, he's going to play because if I go down to 1 star, then I stop playing. Right? I'm still rank 4, but I have a potential to get to rank 3 if I just win 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
So it just altered. And he spent 3 hours sitting there doing nothing and then got screwed. Like I was like, it's embarrassing.
It is. It is really unfortunate. And I mean, like Danny Wu in the chat room said, it's the first time doing this kind of competition. So, hopefully they'll fix it for next time. I wouldn't say hopefully. I would say if they're ever going to do this again, then they will be very, very sure that they have everything explicitly written out. Because, I mean, like, I completely understand where you guys are coming from. But I think, like, me reading the rules, I would think stars didn't matter. Because to me, rank is like, there's, rank 1, which is Innkeeper. There's rank 25, which is Angry Chicken. Like, there's not Angry Chicken 1 star, like, if somebody asks me, like, oh, what rank are you? Then my answer is like, oh, I'm at 18. Not 18 2 stars. So.
But you're also that's just your rank. If this is some sort of a competition, then, like, I would assume the stars did matter. Like, because there's a difference between rank 4 3 stars and rank 4 4 stars. Like, there is a difference. It's one more game one.
And and I agree. Like
stream, so
there is a difference. It's like the word rank and the interpretation of that is it's different even between like the two of us. So I think it needed to be more like explained better, I think, and it is really unfortunate the way that it happened.
Yep. As we change subjects, Dills, you don't usually do this, but can you try and restart your call, your robot, and something fierce?
all right.
So yeah, dumb tournament stuff is dumb. Actually, I'm just gonna wait till Dills gets here before I segue
wait till
into
he
the
gets
next thing.
back before we move on.
We're just gonna sit here and do a little.
I was gonna say now
jig.
there's a big, huge chunk of silence, and you know when you can chop it.
Yeah.
Assuming you edit stuff out
I'm
and back
looking
in.
at it's about 48 minutes and some change.
Cool.
And now we have giant split Jocelyn in here.
I'm everywhere.
And for the video version, sorry. This is too hard to cut and make look nice. You can just deal with it and skip ahead. Chat room wants hold music. I don't think I have hold
really.
music. I don't think I have anything that fits handy. Do we have the Dills back?
Yo.
All right. Now that Dills has returned, other tournament stuff that I'm sure Archon might think is dumb. They apparently have a huge, massive, record-setting tournament. Record matching tournament.
Record tying.
That got leaked today.
We don't have official confirmation of this at all.
No official confirmation whatsoever, but many esports websites are running stories saying that their sources are telling them that Team Archon is hosting a tournament with a $250,000 prize pool that is just around the corner. So take that as you will. There are no official details out. This is completely he said, she said.
The only thing that I think we kind of know is if this is happening, it's not necessarily like a small tournament. It's like a league. They're going to do some sort of a league.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's
what all the reports.
Who knows,
I
man?
read on Gosu Gamers and read it on Daily Dot, and that's what everyone seems to be in agreement on. It's going to be a weekly league. It's going to have a prize pool just as large as the World Championship, and it's going to have nothing to do with the World Championship. No WCS or WCS is StarCraft. Sorry, no World Championship points or anything like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, if 250K is on the line, do I give a crap about WCS points?
No, you care about
if I'm in this thing, I'm going for the win, for the money, man.
You're in it for the money.
Points.
Sidel in the chat room is actually saying that Amaz addressed it on his stream, saying he was mad that it was leaked and they're still finalizing all the details. So,
well, there you go.
I wonder how this got leaked in such a small organization.
I don't know.
Crazy. Somebody must have just.
It must have been one of
the beans to a buddy or something.
Yeah,
it's also
I feel like it probably
sponsor.
wasn't from within Archon. It was probably because they've been reaching out to players and teams. So I would imagine that it got leaked through players. That they reached out to.
Because the league is also saying that it's starting next month. So if it's starting next month, people are in on this that are outside Archon. There's
you
no way that's the case.
$250,000 to give away. You got to secure
Why
players.
Why would you go for like $251,000 like just to break the record? Just like if you're already getting
just say we're bigger than BlizzCon.
Yeah. Why would you
Well-
get that extra 1K?
But maybe they talked to Blizzard and they were like, "We're not trying to step on your toes here, just so you know." And that would be definitely stepping on toes.
True.
Like, by the way, this is now the new biggest thing out
Yeah.
there. But
Because Amaz said so.
yeah, but it's exciting that an independent team can put this together. I mean, that's
Yeah.
crazy. That means there's people out there willing to throw $250,000 at Hearthstone that is not the company that made the game. That's crazy. So I think this is just good news. I mean, whatever. More events, more cool stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Fine. More stuff for me to consume and watch.
I am excited for the details, Amaz.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 24-hour stream where stars don't matter. That's what I heard.
That's what I heard too. Please, God, don't let that be it. Which again, by the way, I liked that idea for that event. Just break it up, people. Break it up. That is absurd.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have 24 hours to watch anything, not even Star Wars.
I ended up watching probably about 18 to 20 hours of it.
I'll admit that I
are-
watched the Team Brawl thing and didn't watch like almost any of this. The Team Brawl was awesome because you watched Strife Crow and Kalento talk about each turn to each other. There was no casting, no nothing. So I don't know if you guys caught that, but
No, I was I
yeah,
was watching.
it was
the 24-hour
excellent
thing.
though. It was really really cool because it was just the two guys talking to each other and you didn't hear the other team's perspective. You just saw from one side, but they just talked through the turn and why one move would be better than the other. So if you're somebody who wanted to get insight into how a pro player plays, this was the way to do it because normally you hear Frodan kind of think about like what he might think they're going to do, but here you literally and Kalento and Strife Crow, who were probably the favorites anyway, just destroyed everybody in their path. But I was watching it, and it was just really cool to hear them go like, "Oh yeah, we don't have to worry about this. We'll do that. That's clearly the best move," and have them talk about it to each other. It was awesome. So that took my time away from the 24
See, we're
hours.
pretty much at the point now when there are too many Hearthstone things to watch now. You've got like
Sure.
all the regular streamers anyways, plus you've got all these special events, plus you've got the competitive tournaments. Like it just
We're already at that
you
point.
can't watch it all anymore.
There's no almost. We've been at that point for a while.
Not to mention, actual physical sports and things that I like to watch, and there's just too much to consume.
Yeah, or entertaining things like fiction, like Game of Thrones, and
Yeah.
My life is too full of things to entertain me at this point. Yeah,
Oh, so
Avengers
terrible.
come out. You had so many things.
yeah,
going on.
I forgot
Avengers, so
about
good.
Avengers. I forgot about it. I was like, oh crap, I need to find a way to go see that this weekend. And
Yeah.
I
I saw it at a drive-in and it was amazing, but I need to go see it again.
yeah,
I
I
need
did
IMAX
too.
now.
The theater I went to had the worst speakers on earth. I could barely
No,
hear
that sucks.
any of the not explodey scenes.
The sound was amazing in it too. That
Oh,
sucks, man.
It makes me
go
so
see
sad.
it again.
Well, let's talk about some Dragon Paladin.
Hit it very hard.
Wanna blow something up? Time to pay!
Welcome to this week's strategy segment where we're going to talk about Dragon Paladin, and because I'm a megalomaniac, you're going to look at my deck list. Not Dills's, mine. Actually, it's because I'm the dude who does the Photoshop here, and it was the only deck list I had handy.
I did tweet out the version that I was just playing on stream, so you can go to my Twitter and see the one I was playing. I had two, but if anyone is curious, it's out there.
Yeah. So if you're watching on video and you're looking at the deck list, or if you're audio listeners, you went over to the show notes at amove.tv/TAC to see the deck list, I in no way am telling you that this is actually good. This is just what I'm playing right now. I will tell you it's fun. It's super fun, guys. And at the end of the day, isn't that all that matters, guys? Isn't that
Sure.
all that matters? But that also would make a really lousy strategy segment.
Yeah, if you're playing and the purpose of you playing is to try to gain ranks, might not be the time to do Dragon Paladin yet.
No.
You might want to wait until somebody really refines
No,
this. But
I'm playing that Tepo Mage for my try hard
Yeah.
sessions. And
Sure.
it's going very good. It's going
But
very
I think
well.
the reason why we wanted to talk about this is because this is the deck everyone feels like is supposed to be viable. And it doesn't seem like we're there yet. And we're just going to kind of talk about why we might not be there yet and what maybe the problems are with this deck and see if we can figure it out. I don't know. We'll just see what happens here.
Yeah. Now, chat room mentioned 5 drops being an issue earlier, and I've seen when I tweeted out my deck list today, and I was talking to folks, asking folks for suggestions on Dragon deck lists, and honestly, no one really had any. any suggestions, but folks started talking about my deck list, and I heard from more than one person. It's like, what are you doing without Sludge Belcher in this deck? Are you crazy? I'm just like, well, it's a dragon deck, and there's a lot of good dragon shit at 5. So sorry, Sludge Belcher, you got cut.
Yeah, and that's the issue here is if you're going to put in Dragon Consort and you're going to put in Blackwing Corruptor, then you can't put in Loatheb and Sludge Belcher and all the other 5 drops you want to put in. So
Yeah.
got to make a decision.
Yeah, the thing, like, a lot of this, at least putting together mine, was stuff I just really wanted to play with. I really wanted to play a Blackwing Corruptor because he seems crazy. Seems awesome. Fire Elemental for whatever deck I want to put it in as long as they're running dragons.
He is really good, and I had a lot of success with him.
Yeah.
I'm going to update my version of it and link it as well, so in case people want to see. But we'll just keep going, keep talking.
I already did link yours.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, but it's not right. The version that I posted in here. So
And then
'cause
you-
I messed
No, I
around with it
grabbed it
before
from
the
Twitter.
thing on stream. Oh okay. Oh cool.
There you go. And then, of course, the other 5 drops is Dragon Consort. If you're going to try and build a Dragon Paladin, it would only make sense that you work in the Paladin-specific dragon. I mean, first of all, it's decent. It's 5/5 for 5, and then it also has that insane battle cry that reduces the cost of your next dragon by 2 mana. And it doesn't need to be in your hand. It doesn't go away if this thing is killed. It's just a permanent discount on whatever next dragon you want to play, which is very strong. Like, I had a turn 6 Chromagus. It made me so happy.
I had
Well,
a turn
yeah.
6 Ysera because I ended up having it discounted by 2, plus I still had the coin, so I was just like, I lost the game, but I still had turn 6 Ysera.
That's tough. Turn 60 Sarah, lose the game. That makes me sad.
Yeah, it was rough.
But I think this is why to me this deck isn't quite there yet, is because you can make these awesome plays, but people still just remove your stuff. I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like what you're doing with this deck is you've got this deck where you're just always dropping something on the board,
Yeah.
and you're never reacting, and you don't have the ability to react. All you can do right now is just keep dropping stuff for them to deal with. And so everything is just so minion based, and the only thing you really have is a quality Consecrate to deal, and True Silver Champion to like deal with anything else. And also you don't have what all these other control decks have, which is a big burst combo. You don't have force roar combo. You don't have a bunch of crazy Tinker Oil, double blade flurry, all kinds of stuff. You don't have all that stuff to get this big burst out, or even the control warrior, where you Grom and then you Taskmaster and then you don't have those combos to do a big burst of damage. So you're just hoping that eventually you overtake them with your powerful drop.
Well, that's the thing is you have at least in mind, there's 11 cards that are over 5 attack.
Yeah.
So
So you hope that you get attacks in with them.
right, right.
But
Which,
sometimes you don't. And, like,
Yeah,
you don't,
I was
and, like, they just kill you.
consistently getting people down to like 5 or 4 health, but they were still killing me before I could kill them. And like, I think I had 4 games in a row where I was like, just give me Ysera Awakens, just give me Ysera Awakens, like please. And and then the one game I pulled it, I didn't actually get a chance to play it. So it's just one of those things, like you just don't have that win condition at all, really. And it's so frustrating to get so close, but then lose.
Yeah, and I think that's just really where we're at. And like, you guys are saying, oh, you need this, you need that, you need the other thing. This deck is jam packed full of stuff. So yeah, you could say, oh, you need this, you need that, but something's got to get cut. to make all
everyone's
that
got
happen.
a big dragon boner for taunt in the chat room at the moment.
Well, I have Defender of Argus in mine, and
Yeah.
that's where I get my taunt.
And I was
but
playing,
you
I was playing Kibler's deck, and I had, it has Defender in it. But for me, the Volcanic Drake, I could never get it to work because nothing ever survived all the way to my turn to have like minions die on my turn. I was never, trading. At most, I had a weapon up, so 1 minion died, so it got discounted by 1. And it's still not that great for, 5 mana. So I just found I wasn't making enough use of it. So then I took it out and I put in, I think, 2 I put in another Zombie Chow and then a Peacekeeper, which worked a little bit better because it helped me with the early game. but then I found that all of my stuff that got activated by dragons, because I was holding on to these volcanic drakes forever, I always had something that was activating all of my cards. So then when I didn't have them in the deck and I was actually playing out all my dragons, then half the time I wasn't activating my cards properly. So
Yeah.
and
that's
but like
the
to
push and
have
pull.
2 deck slots held up just in order to activate your other cards, and then having a spot in your hand held up with something that again is just activating your cards, like it's so inefficient.
Yeah, I've had no issue playing out my volcanic drakes.
Really?
Hungry Dragon has been the point of contention for me because it always tends to give my opponent something that throws a massive monkey wrench in my plan.
Oh my god, Patient Assassin into KT is what I went up against. So I gave
Ooh.
them a Patient Assassin and they had KT, and it was just like
Oh, that is just the worst.
insta-kill all of my minions over and over and over again.
Oh, that's kind of worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hungry Dragon is the guy I'm looking at. I'm just like, I want to love you. I want to love you so bad, but you just keep hurting me, and I keep coming back to you.
I cut him. I cut
Yeah.
Hungry Dragon. I was
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, it's too
I
much
don't
of a
feel like it's
liability.
good enough either, too. And like you get on turn 4, I'd rather just play a True Silver or a Consecrate, or I'd rather even play. I was putting Argent Protectors and Coghammer and stuff because you have some of these really big cards, and if you can shield them, which Coghammer does, and Coghammer also is another taunt essentially too. If you can shield them, you make some really efficient trades. And to me, Hungry Dragon just always was like, I'm hoping that I give you crap, or I'm hoping I already have something on the board. And it's like, I just would rather just True Silver and kill something and then move on to turn 5. Turn 5
Absolutely.
is your real power turn. So I just cut Hungry Dragon. I was like, get out of here. I don't need you anymore.
Anyone experimented with throwing Fairy Dragons in just to buff out your early curve?
I tried it before.
I haven't done it yet.
Early on, but it sucks, man. It doesn't
just-
work. It's,
I feel like if you're running Argus, it's like, well, if it lives, then you can Argus it, but
But it still doesn't do anything but trade with. It's a 1-for-1 at best, and with like I would much rather have Argent Protector and Sun Fury or something like that in there, because even Sun Fury on turn 2, I'm at least getting a 2/3, and I have enough dragons. I don't need to have another dragon. Plus, if I have like a Blackwing Technician, am I not going to play my Fairy Dragon on turn 2 so I can get a buffed Blackwing Technician on turn 3? That means I'm just hero powering on turn 2. It's like I might as well just I felt like Volcanic Dragon, Consort, Chromagus, Ysera, like these were enough to get me my buffed Blackwing Technician because they just tended to be in my
Yeah.
hand, and I'd much rather just play a better turn 2 and not have that question like, should I hold this Fairy Dragon so I can have a dragon in my hand? Like, it's never.
So
worked out.
what about taking out Volcanic or Hungry Dragon, either or, but taking out one of your dragons and replacing it with Alex? Because that's almost like Big Burst if you don't do too much damage early game.
Well, okay. I had Alex in mine at first as well. The problem that I had with it was that it wasn't acting as burst, because a lot of times I need finishing burst. I don't need get you to 15 burst. So they were already close to 15 or under 15. And then I'm like, well, now that I'm healing you, or I'm killing myself.
Yeah.
I never had if you need to have like a deck where you don't ever attack their face really, and
Yeah.
you use Alex to knock them down and then you finish them off. And this deck in the mid game is actually generally doing really well and has big drops and is able to hit face. So I was able to hit face. I just needed, then like they would get to a point where they would put up a couple taunts, and I'm like, damn it, I can't get through these taunts now.
Yeah.
And that's where I was running into problems. So I need to have stuff like Ironbeak Owl. I need to have stuff like Defender of Argus. I need to have all these kind of stuff. And like, I just never felt, I don't know. It may get to a point where we say like Ysera and Chromagus are the problem here. We're trying to make those work so hard. And they may not just work that well, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking at yours. You still have Dr. Boom in there too, so you
Oh yeah, because how can you not have Dr. Boom?
you have quite the stacked high drops. Like,
I mean, the whole point was though to curve really well, right? The whole
Yeah.
point was like have enough early game that I'm not totally behind, and then I go like turn 5, like turn 5 is Dragon Consort, turn 6 is like Chromagus, turn 7 is Dr. Boom, turn 8 is Tyrion, turn 9 is Ysera, and it's just how do you lose if that's your curve that you end up with? And that's actually pretty feasible with this deck, I think, to end up with a situation like that.
That's
So
a really good point too, is a lot of these decks don't run Tyrion. Like a lot of the not your dragon deck, but a lot of the like Kibblers doesn't have Tyrion in it, and it's just kind of
Just
like
don't
it's
see
like,
why. Yeah.
It's like this big hole in the end of your game.
This is the first time I will ever say this. Kibler be crazy.
Well, he's just trying stuff out. He's in full on experimental mode right now, and that's where a lot of people are. So there's going to be a lot of changes to it over time, and people are going to figure things out and figure out exactly what needs to be changed. But even the version that you guys linked, I think so. This is closer to what I think would probably end up being played, as I just put it in the chat. But there's a lot of issues, and the problem I see is that you've got these cards that only get activated when you're holding dragons, so you need to have dragons. If you don't have dragons, then why are you playing a dragon deck in the first place? You know what I mean? So you have to find the balance between the two. And I actually tried a version that literally just ran 4 dragons and was essentially just a mid-range pally outside of that. So it had all the normal mid-range pally stuff. It had piloted shredders and stuff like that even. But it also had dragon consorts, Crow Magus, and Ysera. So it basically was like I'm still doing all the normal stuff I was doing, but it's possible that I draw into a turn 5 into an awesome turn 6, right? And that's it. And I think that's where it's going to kind of move towards, is not going all in on the dragons. Just dragons accentuate what's possible with an already strong mid-range deck. I think that's where you're going to end up.
You think it's a lack of strong early game dragons then?
Yeah, I think, like, I don't see again though, like I don't even think you need early game dragons. You just need early game cards and then late game dragons, and then you're fine. Like right now, it's like we don't need to put dragons everywhere. We don't need to play a dragon.
Well, if you think about what makes Mech Mage, or what made Mech Mage so good, the whole damn thing is mechs. You got mechs in every damn slot for the whole game. And that's just not something
so if there was a
do
2-drop
here.
that made your dragons cheaper,
if there
you'd probably have dragons all over.
Oh yeah, or something you could play on 3 that buffed the fairy dragon you played on 2 that actually made it worth playing fairy dragons, or something
There's
of that
holes
nature.
in the dragons. Dragons are still technically big, majestic, crazy beast creatures, whatever, right? And how do you make, like, fairy dragon seems weird, like how do you make these dragon cards still crazy dragons, but also fit your early game curve, and it's not weird? I don't know. It's bizarre. It's a bizarre deck. It's exciting. Everyone wants to do it, but there needs to be a balance between good paladin cards and good dragon cards, right? Hungry Dragon, people are stuck on Hungry Dragon, man. That's, I think, where everyone's going wrong. It's like Hungry Dragon is just not good.
Yeah, I think Hungry Dragon is a massive liability, especially with aggro decks still being incredibly popular. You're just giving them more ammunition.
Yeah.
That was the thing. I was when I was playing it, I was like, if I go against Face Hunter,
You just
I
can't
actually
play-
did beat a Face Hunter once, but I got incredibly lucky. He arcane golemed so that I could actually play Lay on Hands on turn 7, which I would have lost if I couldn't, right? But I got lucky, but I was like, I don't have heal bot. I don't have space for heal bot in here. If I don't draw Defender of Argus or something, he'll just continue to hit my face, and it didn't feel like a matchup I could win, and that's a huge problem if you're trying to play this on the ladder.
Yeah, I won a game too, but I got both my zombie chows and my cog hammer on my opening hand.
There you
So
go.
I essentially had 3 zombie chows because my first one got taunt plus divine shield.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think though there's a lot of potential here. It's just we're not there yet. No one's had enough time really. Like you said earlier in the show, we're like 4 days past or whatever.
Oh yeah.
The last wing, and that
'cause we were
last wing had some of the really important dragons to fill out the rest of the deck.
Exactly. We were talking about it last week that folks were saying, "Oh, guys, talk about Paladin, Dragon Paladin. Talk about Dragon Paladin," because folks were trying to make it work, but we didn't have all the dragons yet. So we're like, "No, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait till they're all out." Now they're all out, and the answer is we're not sure. It seems hard to make work at the moment.
So Kibler was messing around with this a lot today, and he ended up doing things like putting in Taz Dingos. He, like you said, he doesn't play Tyrion, doesn't play Dr. Boom. He's just trying to get all the dragons in there and make it work. And he was saying, Hungry Dragon sucks. I need something else on 4, because sometimes True Silver and Consecrate aren't really that good on 4. So sometimes you want a minion to play. You want a Taz Dingo to drop. And so he's still in the tweak mode. And if he hasn't figured out if he's the dragon master and he hasn't figured it out, and how can us plebs be expected to have it figured out? Right? But it's an interesting deck. It's very cool. The strengths are, of course, the late game. The curving is amazing. You've got a lot of good tempo drops, but the weaknesses are card draw, which Garrett, you've got the you've got the Solemn Vigil in there, which you say is working out really well.
So far, I've been nothing but happy with it. I have yet to have a game where I'm just like, oh crap, I got to pay $5. I've never paid $5 for this thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think part of it's because I'm running Peacekeepers, and a lot of folks in the chat room think I'm crazy. But those things tend to live, and I tend to get a trade.
I play Peacekeeper for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For whatever reason, that's like the one thing on Paladins. Like they're like, well, it's a 3/3. I know they've got other things coming out that are more a larger threat. So it lives, and that's what I end up trading with. Is I almost always take something out with it and lose that at the same time. So I always get a 2-mana discount.
Yeah,
on my,
and that's enough to make it worth it.
Yeah,
So.
and then if I had Thorison go off before that happened, things cheap as hell.
Yeah, and then well, actually, so I took Thorison out too. I had Thorison in early, but I realized that I was never really needing my cards to be cheaper. I was just needing to play something that costs exactly the amount of mana I already had, and I was never hitting more than like 3 cards with Thorison. So I just ended up cutting it. Just wasn't doing them as much as I wanted it to be doing. But so yeah, other thing is if you don't draw into your early game, which is essentially zombie chows and shielded mini bots, you just get overrun. You've got a lot of situational cards you want to have in there, but since you got to play all these dragons, you don't have room for them. You've got some strong drops that you want, but you had to cut those to get dragons. So that's like you look at no Tyrion in Kibler's version, and it's like, really? So I'm playing Paladin with no Tyrion? Like, that seems crazy. And then, of course, the no burst combo, which we already talked about. So there's a lot of problems right now that need to be addressed. And I, for one, am excited to see what some of these really strong deck builders come up with. But, I went 5-1 before the show, so I can't say that it's terrible. I feel like I got a little lucky. I don't feel like it was, this was a true representation.
Well, I feel like the theme, if we could boil down our conversation here to the one thing that we kind of feel is the issue. It seems like there's not an end goal. Like we talked last week about deck building. We don't know what our finisher is. Your
finisher is just creatures that live and it can hit face.
Right.
And sometimes that doesn't happen.
You're hoping they don't remove Tyrion, they don't remove Chromagus, they don't remove Ysera. Which I kind of like, because like I drink the Jocelyn Kool-Aid of, there's just so many big threats. At some point, they have to run out of answers, right? And even if they have an answer for Tyrion, I've got 15 damage on board with my freaking Ashbringer. Sure. But it doesn't always work out. You're absolutely right, Dills.
Yeah. Who never runs out of answers? Control Warrior. They never run out of answers. They have an answer for everything. I don't know. There's plenty of decks out there that are just built around having answers. And so you're just going to run it. And then, of course, you lose to aggro if you don't have enough early game. It's just, I don't know.
Yep.
It's in a weird spot right now.
But. Yeah. I mean, that's why the zombie chow was in there. So, but you don't always draw them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I feel like it's got potential. It's there. Something's there.
Sorry, Jocelyn. Go ahead.
I found that when I got lucky, then I won. But I had to get lucky early on, and I think I went about 50-50 with this deck. Like it's not reliable.
Well,
it was fun. Like when the cool stuff happened, I was like, oh my god, that was so cool. But yeah. It didn't happen often enough to make me really want to play the deck consistently.
Don't we believe in the 50-50 on this show, though? Isn't that all we ask for?
We do. So, I mean, like I said, I went 5-1 with it. I'm going to keep tinkering. Maybe next week I'll come back and I'll be like, guys, I figured it out. Here it is.
Yeah,
and right now I'm still, everything's up in the air. It's still a big question mark.
And to everyone out there listening, we would love to hear your suggestions, hear how your dragon decks are working.
Sure.
Chat room is saying eye for an eye.
Oh, there you go. That's all we're missing.
That's what we're missing.
That's your burst combo. Yeah.
There it is.
Exactly. You're just stealing their burst combo. That's all it is.
Yeah, and you're just hoping it's all in.
Want to hit me for 10 with your garage? Sure.
Yeah, you're hoping their burst combo is only 1 minion. That's what you're hoping for. A
lot of people are also talking about Rend and why is Rend not in our decks. And I think the real reason is because right now on the ladder, you're not facing enough control where that's specifically going to be good. Like that card is amazing in the control versus control matchup, but it sucks against aggro. And when you're trying to ladder up, that's so I think it's got its place in like a tournament setting, But I think on the ladder, you're gonna run into situations where it's just a dead card.
Yep. Absolutely. So let us know how your Dragon decks are going, folks. tacpodcast@gmail.com. And if you think it's really good, I want proof. I want to rank you are. I want some idea of what decks it's good against, it's bad against, because I want to make this work. I believe in the dragons. I believe in the dragons, guys. I want it to
My
work.
Dragon Magic deck is amazing, by the way. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Well, yeah. But, hey, Dills, could you tell me what one of the expansions is called?
Dragons of Tarkir.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I literally have a card where I pull a dragon out of my graveyard and give it +2, +2. And
Yep.
it's like 5 mana, and all the dragon cards in my deck are like 7 or 8 mana.
So now it's super beefy zombie dragon.
Yeah, but the thing is, I have all these other cards that put things into my, like I discard things into my graveyard before. So then I just play super expensive dragons for really cheap and buff them at the same. It's just, yeah. If we had that in Hearthstone, oh my God. If it was like, here, discard all these dragons that cost a bunch, and then later play this card, and just one of them comes back out. Like if we had Resurrect and Paladin, that'd be sick.
Dills is the reason I have the sideboard card that I can't remember the name of that reads, choose one, destroy all dragon creatures, or
Crux of
destroy
Fate, yeah.
destroy all non-dragon creatures. I get to pick.
Destroy all dragons or all non-dragons. It's sick.
Yep,
amazing.
it's so great. I sideboarded in, or I just it's my I don't want to play anymore. I reset the board card if I just get frustrated with my friend I'm playing against. It's great. So much fun.
It's like Deathwing.
Exactly.
People-
You're
yeah.
absolutely correct.
But people use that card in non-dragon decks because it's just a board wipe. It's just like, for
Yep.
5 mana, I kill everything.
Yeah, and if you have nothing on your board, then it's nothing but upside.
Yeah. But if you're playing dragons too, oh my God.
Yeah.
All my dragons stay alive and all of your blockers go away, I win.
Yep. All right, chat room wants it. Magic talk. There you go. That's what you get. Let's take a crazy game story.
The whole world gone crazy.
You're in trouble now.
You got it!
Send us your crazy game stories. Send them. tacpodcast@gmail.com. Dills, what do you have for us today?
Oh my God, I'm reading it. I'm reading the crazy game story. Okay, here we go. Andrew says, "Dear irate cocks and indigent hen." All right, good way to start. I've been listening to the show since you started and have been playing Hearthstone since beta. I look forward to listening to each new episode every week on my commute to work and can't tell you how much I enjoy the show. I wanted to write this afternoon to tell you, Dills especially, that I've been playing your Milkshake deck on ladder the past few hours and have never had this much fun playing Hearthstone. The only thing that could have made it better was seeing the look on the mage's face when I had 4 Kel'Thazods on my board and their golden Emperor Thaurissan. I don't want to get called out by Detective Dills, so I'll explain. KT number 1, Mind Vision turn 1. KT number 2, Mind Vision turn 2. KT number 3, Faceless Manipulator turn 5. KT number 4, Faceless Manipulator turn 6. Thaurissan made me really scratch my head because I stole his mirror entity with Kazan Mystic, turn 7. Then they played right into it with their Thaurissan, turn 8. I have to give my opponent some credit, though. I would have conceded long before they did on turn 9. Thanks again for all the great content. Please keep up the good work. Well, this sounds like the perfect Milkshake deck storm. It does not always work this way.
He drank his milkshake.
Yeah.
And then he
but when
made
it
some
does,
copies of it and continued drinking those extra milkshakes.
When the Milkshake deck works, man, is it cool. Like, that's the whole point. It's frustrating as hell for the other guy, and man, Andrew, that must have been the funnest game ever. I promised everybody out there that I would work on the Milkshake deck, so new versions are coming. I will play more of it on stream, and I'll post stuff about it. At some point, I'll add it to like an article on Hearthhead or something. But Andrew seems to be understanding the power of your milkshake.
The magic that is the milkshake.
The magic that is the milkshake.
For the audio-only listeners, Dills is bringing his hand up to the camera like Darth Vader pleading with Luke Skywalker in Cloud City. It's wonderful. Yes, join me, and together we can drink the universe's milkshake side by side. It's good stuff.
Andrew, strike me down, and you'll become more powerful than you could ever imagine.
Steal my KT and copy it 4 times, and you will become more resurrection happy than you could possibly imagine.
It is your destiny.
It is. Let's take some emails.
Hello?
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Just quickly, do you get my message?
Yep.
Oh,
Hello, brother.
Same place as always. Send your emails to tacpodcast@gmail.com. Our first email today comes to us from listener Theo, who writes, "Hello, displeased Gallus domesticus."
Oh my god. All right, more stuff to Google.
Love you guys.
It's getting ridiculous, eh?
No, it's getting delightful, eh?
Oh, I said A.
Yeah, you did. I'm not sure what you're
Okay.
talking about, but you did say
So,
A.
the Gallus domesticus is a domesticated fowl.
There you go.
Okay.
Theo writes, suppose by some miracle you have been hired at Blizzard to work on the next expansion. They want to introduce another tribe into the game, but have run out of ideas. What tribe would you make? You could say elementals, but that would be boring because many people have had that idea. So Theo has asked us a question and also barred us from one answer.
Yeah, so don't say elementals, y'all.
Honestly, I've been thinking about this all day, and it's so difficult because I know Garrett has an answer, so I'm not stealing his because his is really good. But like,
It's
I
not
don't
that
know,
good.
maybe like arcane stuff, like sentries and golems and
Constructs.
things? Constructs. Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. Constructs.
I mean, we have, no, sorry, no, we don't. We have nothing of the sort.
No. Well, what's your amazing one, Garrett?
It's not
Wow us.
Thanks, Jocelyn, for
Here, let
setting
me
this
sit
up.
back here.
Now I'm gonna come
ready
up
to be wowed.
and I'm gonna be like, guys,
good.
let me tell you about Knowles, and everyone's gonna be like, way to go, Garrett. No, it's retreading on stuff we've talked about in the past. I would love to see the playable races from World of Warcraft actually become a tribe. I want to see a Night Elf moniker, an Orc moniker, a Tauren moniker, and
Yeah.
like, maybe not all at once. Give us like the Blade Masters of Duratar, and that'll be the Orc one. We get a bunch of Orc cards, and we can have the Taldrassil one, and it'll be all the Night Elves or whatever. But I feel like more weight should be given to the races of Azeroth because it's something that me as a World of Warcraft player identify with so deeply.
Sure.
That's true. And actually,
that's a
chat
good
room
idea.
is throwing out one that I know that I've tweeted out before, and I can't believe I didn't think of it all day. But the ethereal guys, the void dudes, oh, they'd be so
There's
cool.
only like one of those right now. It's the ethereal dude who gets buffed when you have a spell or a secret.
Yeah, the secret
The
guy.
only one in the game right now, isn't
Yeah.
it?
So an expansion of them would be super cool.
Yeah. That is a cool idea because there already is, pandas, worgans, Draenei, all that stuff already in the game. So all you got to do is just give them the moniker that's the race that they come from. That'd be pretty sweet.
Chat room's
Yep.
also saying that constructs are mechs, and they are, but they aren't. I'm thinking more along the lines of the stuff that's in like Ulduar or like the sentries in the Blood Elf cities and stuff.
Well, so like the Ancient Watcher is a construct.
I was
Like,
thinking
Yeah.
of...
He's a big, the Ancient Watcher is like a big statue essentially,
Yeah.
right? And there's a bunch of those kind of things in Ulduar, yeah.
I was
That are
thinking of like the guards in Karazhan, which are basically arcane golems, aren't they? And arcane golems are not classified as a mech.
right.
Can't go on or nothing. They don't have anything.
Yeah, they don't have
Right.
it.
But that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of when I said.
So like a
construct.
Harvest Golem is a mech, but that's like a mechanical version of a construct, right? So
Yeah, and I'm thinking of like the mana-based ones, like when you get into the portion right before you fight like the Shade of Iran, I believe, in Karazhan. There's all those big purple like arcane dudes that are guarding.
Well, that's the thing, right? They're not powered the way like with like combustion, the way that
Yeah,
gnome and goblin things mechs are.
they're magic.
Powered by magic. Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and actually Karazhan would be a good thing to introduce that in.
There you
'Cause
go.
there's a
Maybe that
crap
is
ton of
what's
them in
coming.
there.
Everyone seems
I'm
to
gonna
want
go.
Karazhan.
I'm gonna go with Furl Bogs.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Do we have to grind rep with them before they let us run through their tunnel?
Yes, and then you can turn other things into Furl Bogs.
Nice.
Or how about what was the thing that was in Wrath of the Lich King, and you would go and you had to like do a bunch of rep with them to get the shoulder buff. Man, what were they called?
Shoulder buff. I'm thinking.
Yeah,
of
so
the-
to get the actual buff for your,
and
for your shoulders,
is this in Wrath?
you had to go to this one thing and you had to grind rep with this, and it like
With
dailies all day,
the ice
all the
giants?
time. No, I can't remember what it was.
I forget what they were called. You're talking about in Wrath, out in the Storm Peaks.
Yeah, you would go and you would get
Oh,
Sons
like
of
the
Hodir.
Oh,
Sons of Hodir.
oh dear. Yes, that's what it was. You're
Give me Sons of Hodir cards.
the
please.
Hodiers. Oh man.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Vikings.
Oh dear! It's a little throwback to the instance.
If
You got
and
so many though. You got Arakoa, you got Naga,
True.
you got all kinds of
Do we,
stuff.
oh yeah, because I kept thinking, I'm like, oh, things in the water, and then I was like, oh, we already have Murlocs, and that's as far as I thought about it. Totally forgot about the Naga.
you could have like 18 different colored Hydras.
Yeah.
They all look different. Come on, Garrett.
Yeah, they all aren't the exact same model with a slight color modification. Although most of the Murlocs are the same model with the color modification. They did a perfectly fine job making an obscene amount of Murlocs for Hearthstone. So I don't know. Also, because they're waiting for our permission. If Team 5, if you want to make an adventure for every zone in Northrend, you have my permission. Go for it.
Get at it, dude.
I would be fine with nothing but lumberjacks from Grizzly Hills, and the legendary lumberjack is Ben Brode.
Hell, that's
Yes.
not bad.
Oh
you
my
go.
god,
Also,
yes.
we could have some more kobolds. We get the Hosen. We get Ook and the Duker and all that kind of stuff.
No,
I hate
hell,
monkeys.
No,
I hate monkeys so
come
damn
on.
much.
You don't want to Ook and the Duker?
no more of that, please. I do not want to sit there and have like some super OP card that's a Hosen that I have to put in every single deck, and then it's gonna have some sort of mechanic like the freaking patron, and it's just gonna go off ook 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 ook.
No, you know what it's gonna do? It's gonna put.
And I'm gonna want to just like rage quit the whole game.
Well,
Oh,
King
man, I
Muffler
love those.
gives your opponent bananas. The Hosen would give your opponent poop.
Oh man,
All right, sure, why not?
You would play the
this
poop.
got off
and,
the rails so
No,
fast.
listen
Look,
to
there's
me.
just a lot of these things. We
You
need the
play-
old god cards
you-
at some point.
no,
too.
listen
we need
to
all
me.
sorts of stuff.
You play the Hosen droppings, and it takes a minion spot on your opponent's side. So they have to drop a minion in the droppings, and it removes a life.
Whoa,
Whoa.
whoa,
It's a mechanic, guys.
whoa.
Don't step in the poop. First
The
rule
Dookie
of raid.
mechanic? Is that what you look?
No, don't step in the poop, man. It's the first rule of raiding. Come on.
That would be actually interesting if you could do something where you could put, you could essentially put poop down on the other guy's side, but not poop, but like fire.
Yeah,
Like you could play a card that would then put fire down on the other guy's board, and then if
Wouldn't it
they
be cool
played
if
cards
Hun-
onto the board, they would then take fire damage.
Hunter trap launcher. Instead of making your trap secrets, it shoots it out into one
Yeah.
minion spot.
Or
and if they
instead
land
of
on
a
it,
flame
they-
strike, you essentially it's like Doomsayer style flame strike, where that's like a flame strike that goes off on the next turn, and it's like I can't play any minions into this now because my board's gonna go off.
Oh man,
Cool
See?
stuff, dude.
it's gonna be fun stuff. Anyways, thanks for that email, Thea. That was a fun one. Dills, you want to take the next email?
Yeah, Death Espresso. I'm glad
want
that
one
you
of
didn't
those.
put Dexpresso because there's no X in espresso, you guys. I don't know if everybody knows this, but Death Espresso says, "Hello, maniacal Manox. That's Tagalog for chicken. Okay, thank you. I had a shower thought today about Hearthstone." He's taking us into a shower here. Death
I'm
Espresso.
so glad he's.
We have to get in the right mindset.
Yeah. So imagine you're in the shower.
This is how your email gets on the show, by the way, folks. If you email us telling us about what you're doing in the shower, we will put you on the show.
You get right onto the show. What do you guys think about being able to have matches where you can put up wagers for gold or dust? As a free-to-play player, I think this would be a cool way to get some extra gold or dust that would not be particularly exploitative. Blizzard could limit the amount of gold or dust available for betting per match, like 50 gold or 50 dust, and also limit the amount of wagered matches an account could do, one per day. If implemented with these limitations, I don't see how people could game the system for an unfair advantage. Also, I think it would be a pretty fun option to have for anyone interested. What do you guys think? Keep up the great work. I mean, I'm all for all kinds of ways to add modes, add game modes in.
I like this a
And
lot. I think this is cool.
I would love to play against Garrett for a little bit of scratch,
Yeah.
I feel
Put
like it
something
would
on
be
this.
it'd be a really cool like extension to spectator mode. Like if I could come in and spectate you guys and say like, okay, I've got 50 gold on Garrett or 50 dust on
Oh,
Dills.
damn. So you're talking about turning this into like a cockfight, literally.
Yes.
You come in, and there's just a bunch of men holding up dollars, and
Yes,
people are
exactly.
grabbing money from other people seemingly indiscriminately, yet
Yeah.
somehow there's a system. And then
Exactly.
if I win or Garrett wins, okay.
Now, folks
I
who tuned in before Dill said cockfight, but was he describing a cockfight there or a strip club? Because I'm not sure.
Could go either way.
I heard a bunch of dudes giving dollars out. That's all I heard.
Yeah. Well, okay. There's a couple of reasons why this might not happen, and that's because of like win trading is already a thing, and this would be like a way to transfer gold from maybe one account to another or something. I don't know, there could be some ways that this could be exploited,
I think
even if
that's
you put
kind of-
limitations.
Yeah, that's where the limitation of like the once per day, or like you have to either cap the amount you can wager total per day, or like the same way that they have a cap on how much gold you can earn in a day, or you have to cap the number of times you can do it. So you can say like, okay, less of a limit, but larger time span, or bigger limit, bigger time, whatever, shorter time span. You know what I mean? There's
Sure.
ways it
Or
works.
They'd have to manage what like like they put a cap on gold earned through ranked play or whatever. They'd have to put some sort of cap on this, or else it would get exploited no matter
Yes.
what. But it's cool. I love the idea.
Or if development time isn't an issue, they add a whole new spectate mode where you just start spectating 2 random strangers and you can't bet on your friends.
There you go. Yeah, it's just random shit. But okay. Well, I was watching the Pacquiao Mayweather debacle, which some people may say, "Oh, it was a boxing match, man. You don't understand boxing." I thought it was terrible and boring. But
I heard
we
was
made
kind
things
of
interesting by just betting on the undercard because we didn't know anything about any of the guys. I think I'd heard of one of them. So me and my roommate were just betting on the undercard, and it made it super fun. So I think I would love to be able to like go in there. And it's like you don't know what the decks are that they're playing, and you just bet and then you watch, and it's interesting. I think there could be some cool stuff with this.
Yeah.
Betting makes things more fun. I'll just put that out.
Yes.
Cash games. Hearthstone cash games. Let's go.
The views of Dills did not necessarily represent the someone
Wait, are
just
you
like,
trying to say, Garrett, that betting doesn't make things more fun?
I don't know if you betting stresses me the hell out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, don't bet more
Clearly
than
you're
you
betting
can
too
afford.
much.
Yeah, like what the hell, man? Garrett's just like he's just a gambling addict, but we didn't know. And he's like, dude, I get stressed out when I put my entire house
All right,
and
guys,
the car up on the game.
you guys have played Heroes of the Storm with me, right?
Yeah.
All right, you know how mad I get when I lose a game and there's no money involved? Imagine when there's money involved. Let's
Oh
just
God.
All right.
just extrapolate that.
I'm all of a sudden really, really happy that I live thousands of miles away from you.
No, I'm not a big gambler. Like,
I'm not a big gambler either, but I like to get like I'll put $5 on stuff all the time. When I play pool with my roommate, we bet, and it's never enough that it matters, but it makes it more interesting. At the end, you can talk a little smack, and he
Yeah.
has to peel off a $5 for me and stuff. I like it.
well, do you have casinos near you?
We have kind of. We have like the Indian casinos, and then we have card rooms.
Okay, yeah,
Card
because
rooms have to be like grandfathered in, but there's not really. And then we have, Chinatown. you got to find a guy. Who knows a guy.
you go back in a back alley and start throwing
Yeah,
bones.
essentially. And if you're Bakwai, you probably don't want to be there. But
yeah.
Well,
No,
yeah,
there's a lot of relatively large casinos, a lot of Hard Rock casinos and whatnot around where I live. So it's like a thing here, and I'm just like, I can't do it, guys. It's just too
yeah,
too stressful.
When I go to Vegas, I gamble a little, but I'm never like a big.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what you do in Vegas. Is like every now and then when I end up on like a cruise with my family, because if you live in Florida long enough, you just eventually stumble onto a cruise ship. I'll play a little poker.
Where no laws apply. Yeah.
Yep. But not till you leave the port.
of the
It's
sea.
it's so funny
No,
when you walk on,
there's-
everything's locked down, and then like as soon as they pull off, it's like, all right, now guys, it's legal. I know literally nothing has changed, but now we can turn it on.
There's card rooms really close, and actually one of my close friends, she plays every weekend. She plays cards, and you can do it. It's a short drive for me, but I don't really do it very much. I want to do it in Hearthstone though, so Team 5, make it happen.
Yeah.
We've given Team 5 about 7 or 8 ideas / demands. Of
Yeah.
things
I
that you
feel
want.
like
Oh,
if
and
they
there's more coming. This last email is really good.
I feel like if they were taking notes at the beginning, like, oh, okay, these are some decent ideas. At this point, they're just like, you know what, guys? Screw you. There's like 40 of us. We can't do this all. Just shut up.
They got as far as throwing poop, and they just went, okay, no.
I hope somebody there loved my Duker idea, okay? Be one.
Sure, somebody did.
I think the mechanic is sound. It doesn't necessarily have to be a poop pile. But I
We
think
all know Zen Style's got our type of humor.
Oh, that's true.
He's into it.
Right now he's just like, oh yeah, I get it, guys. That's because he's from Florida, so he's good people.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, Joss, final email.
All right, this one comes to us from Cold Run. He says, "Ahoy, affronted Anconas." I can't get over how
One
cool.
more thing we gotta Google. This is
I know.
getting crazy, but yeah, okay.
I can't get over how cool the Thorson card mechanic of permanently reducing the mana cost of cards in your hand is. What other ways would you like to see this type of mechanic used in future cards? For example, I think it'd be cool to have a minion that, at the end of your turn, adds +1 spell power to all minions in your hand. Thanks for the wonderful podcast. I love this idea.
Oh, man.
I mean, you could do it with, like, anything. You could do it with Divine Shield, Taunt, like, spell power, like he mentioned. All this stuff that, you know, they've already kind of, in a way, assigned 1-ish mana to most of those mechanics. So, I mean, it's almost the same as taking 1 mana off every card, is like buffing it by something that's worth about 1 mana. I love this idea.
Give everything in your hand taunt. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, then it would have to be minions. Obviously,
The problem
it wouldn't
with
work
that,
on
though-
spells.
All right. Problem with some of this stuff is you don't necessarily want, like, I don't think this card would be that good. I like the idea of doing this with more stuff, but you remember back in the day, Sunfury Protector gave everything on your board taunt. There wasn't just things next to it. It gave your entire board taunt. And they're like, that's crazy. But we kind of have this already, right? We have what's the card? 5 mana 2/3 enhanced on Mechano.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or 5 mana 3/2, whatever it is, 4 mana 3/2. I can't remember.
Well, that's your board, not
But-
your hand.
But it kind of does this, where it just gives it random, and you pay a penalty in the body of the actual card you play, right?
Yeah.
So I think you could do this if you randomized it. I don't know if you could do this by saying give everything taunt, because there's other problems with this too. It's like give everything taunt or give everything divine shield. Divine shield could maybe work, but taunt, that would be OP as hell. But taunt is like sometimes you don't want taunt on this creature. Like, I want to hide this creature behind taunts, you know?
Yeah.
So there's some
Well,
cool
then,
stuff
so
that
then
can
you
be
just have to make sure
done.
that whatever you want to hide, you play first. Then you play the
Before
minion that
you do
buffs all
this,
your
sure.
cards.
Sure.
Then you have every single card in your hand to choose
Yeah.
from at varying mana costs of, you know, how do I then protect this thing that I've just played now?
Sure.
Played out.
And if you think about it, so 1 mana is what's the card? Hand of Protection, right? 1 mana for 1 Divine Shield.
Yeah.
So you could technically say, like, oh, that's worth that. You just have to figure out how weak the body needs to be and how much mana it has to cost for the creature that does this to all your cards, right? There's definitely ways to manipulate this mechanic and do more stuff than just what Thorison does, and I'm sure we're gonna see it. I don't think this is the last card that we're gonna see that affects the cards in your hand when you play it. So yeah, good idea, man. Just they gotta figure. They're smarter than me. I'm gonna let them figure that out. But
Yeah.
gotta be careful with this.
Yeah,
Gotta be careful
such
with
a
this.
balance thing.
I like this idea. Oh, and
I'm all
also in a way, he's talking about other cards using this mechanic. Dragon Consort kind of uses a similar mechanic, but instead of discounting the cards that are in your hand, it discounts the next dragon card you play, regardless of where it is in your library, in your hand already.
Yeah. And we have stuff like that. There's lots of stuff that discounts. I mean, Unstable Portal, but then what's the Warlock Portal?
Oh, Summoning Portal?
Summoning Portal.
Yep.
So Summoning Portal has to suck because what it does is actually incredibly powerful, you know, if you think about it. So
Yep.
I'm still surprised. Actually, you know what? That's my next fun deck. Summoning Portal deck. Let's go.
Summoning Portal.
If you,
Oh my God,
if
Jocelyn.
you get a Summoning Portal and you have a bunch of expensive cards in your hand, then you could dump them all out and they're all sticky, and there's some powerful turns you can make.
I was spectating
Oh,
Jocelyn
sticky,
today.
like you mean they stay on the board.
Like Death Rattle minions. Yeah. What the hell?
I don't know.
Settle down, Jocelyn. Settle down.
I was like, how did your cards get sticky? What? They're not real cards.
can
I
understand.
spilled
It's
soda
late,
on
okay?
my
It's late.
keyboard.
I spilled soda on my iPad, and it was so sticky it
Now all
got
my
into
cards
the
are sticky.
digital game. Hearthstone goes to draw the card, and like you hear the peel, like the sound. It's great. Be wonderful. I was
she goes
spectating
there.
Jocelyn today to get my daily done and get my free card pack. She unstable portaled, got a Blingtron. I was so excited, guys.
It
You
was
have no
gold.
idea.
I got a gold.
Because she used the gold unstable portal, so she got a golden Blingtron, and she got the better weapon out of the deal too.
It was amazing.
Because it was mage versus mage, so
Yes.
it was both classes can't get weapons. Now the mage got the 1/4, your opponent got the 1/4 paladin weapon, and you
Yeah.
got a fiery war axe, right?
I sure did.
Yep.
And everything was all blingy.
It was nice.
This is why I crafted gold unstable portals. There's no reason to have regular unstable portals. I have now seen so many in-game animations that I never would have seen otherwise.
Jocelyn, the 1%, likes to come up with reasons beyond I have all the cards and have nothing better to do with my dust. That's what she
But
likes
it's like,
to do.
it's so cheap.
Yes, when you have all the cards. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Dills, I think I'm going to, in your honor, name this one the King of Milkshake, or the Milkshake King. I think that'll be the name of this episode. We'll throw up an image of a Farian in there. Be a good time. The Angry Chicken, if you weren't aware, is supported by our awesome patrons. And everyone's like, they should call them Grim patrons. There's nothing grim about our patrons. They're delightful. They're so
Maybe
nice.
some of them are grim. I don't know.
I guess we do
I'm
have
sure we get some goths who are patrons.
we do have so many of them now. I guess there's really no way to know for sure. We could have some grim folks in there, but yeah, and they are kind of wildly multiplying. So I don't know. Maybe you guys are grim patrons. So thank you guys for supporting the show. If you want to support the Angry Chicken, you can do so over at patreon.com/TAC. That gives you access to the TAC Skype account for the patron call-in episodes, as well as the after show video. We do some giveaways every now and then, and preferred tournament entry like we did for the last tournament we had. So thanks to all you folks. This week we do want to thank Chris B, Dodge H, Rose L, Ian K, and Priapus for supporting the show. Thank you all so much for doing so. And guys, I can't believe I did this. I slacked. I forgot to look up iTunes reviews.
Oh, no.
How dare I?
We'll have to do extra ones next week or something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or in my apology, I could look it up fast enough and say thank you to E-Rock MD, Dulcinabox, and Exotrope. Thank you so
There you go.
much. And E-Rock, I'm going to try to find something funny. E-Rock MD called us the heated barnyard fowl. Thank you guys for your 5-star iTunes reviews. Really appreciate it. The Angry Chicken is a production of amove.tv and frogpants.com. All of our past live shows and other videos can be found on youtube.com/starcastshow. Our Angry Chicken t-shirt is on sale over at slashloot.com. Follow us on Twitter at TAC Podcast. We record the show live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/amovetv. All you folks that come into the chat room and go, how long have they been on? I don't know. Maybe they started at 10, the same time they've been doing it since they started, and they say every week.
Could be.
I never understand that people are like, what time does the show start? I'm like, we say it every week, people.
Look, people listen to the beginning of the show and then they turn it off.
Yeah.
Now we know.
They never get all
There
the
it
way
is.
down here.
Yeah.
Now we know.
So they
we can
don't-
say anything we want right now.
They don't hear us
They'll
say...
never hear us.
No.
They don't hear us say, call them all bastards, and they should go check
Yeah.
out alphageekradio.com for the audio stream.
Nobody knows that I'm going to say that I have a big thing in my...
Check out BrianGriffithMusic.com. He did the music for our show. Dills, when you don't have a big thing in your... Where can folks find you?
Folks can find... you guys don't want to know actually what I did say after the mute happened. Folks can find me on Twitch, streaming about things, mostly Hearthstone and Heroes. And a lot of Heroes more now, actually, because now that I'm level 30, Hero League's where it's at, man.
You're damn right it is. You get a
Although-
comp that makes sense. You see a lot less Abathurs.
Yeah, although I do get super
Wonderful.
frustrated when my team totally sucks now because I'm like, you guys, why did nobody pick a healer?
Yeah, why did no one pick support? Or like one guy went Tassadar and no one else was like, oh, he went Tassadar. We should do a 2 support setup because Tassadar isn't a healer. No, everyone's just like, oh, it's got a support icon next to it. It's like, how did you get to
so
30?
we don't need a healer.
How did you get this far in the game, people? I know the Angry Chicken is all about being nice and inclusive, but F those guys.
I find myself just picking Lily because I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to let this happen anymore. I know everyone is picking Sylvanas and they're all picking just assassins because they all want to be assassins. So I'm just gonna suck it up, and I'll be Lily.
I love Lily. I'm getting
you
so
Lily
good at
like
her.
Lily?
I Lily like Lily.
Oh, I do too. So you can check that out. I'll be doing that on the twitch.tv/WillyDillsSF. And game night on Tuesdays. Come by. Instance on Fridays. There you go. Torchcast on Mondays, except not this week. And there you go. That's it.
Sweet. Jocelyn, what about you?
I'm right here every Friday night on A-Move TV doing the Gamers In at 8:30 Eastern. You can also follow me on Twitter at GISGamer. Twitch is the same, and I try to stream at least 2, if not more, nights a week.
Awesome.
Ta-da.
Go check it out, especially the website that I'm involved in. No, I'm kidding. All that other stuff, just, it's the end of the show. We can, you say whatever we want, like Dill said.
Apparently.
No one's listening, man.
I'm going to be mean to everybody.
No one's listening.
I actually can't stand either of these two people. They're just awful. I hate them. It's terrible.
No one heard that. I didn't hear it either. I wasn't paying attention.
When you guys don't giggle, it just makes me feel mean.
I mean, I tune out. I stopped paying attention at this point in the show.
Yeah, we get to what Garrett does, and we're just like, meh.
Yeah, the show's over.
Garrett's talking, and then I hear him say Dills, and I go, Twitch! Instance!
Sports stuff!
Sports!
Well, if you'd like to hear me blurt things out 140 characters at a time, you can follow me on Twitter at GarrettArt. I can be found over at newmoonart.com for my graphic design portfolio, and on Into the Nexus, where we talk Heroes of the Storm, and I'm usually a lot nicer than I was about bad people at level 30 about 5 seconds ago. So check out Into the Nexus. Check out our sponsors, doghousesystems.com. The code they use is TAC. It'll get you a 120 gigabyte solid-state drive, free of charge, upgrade, support the show. Check it out. We'll be back next week, folks, for episode 82 of The Angry Chicken. But until then, job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes!